Thank you for choosing to watch another episode of Where's My Podcast. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and make sure you click that notification bell to keep up to date with all our drops. Enjoy the episode. Yes, my people, welcome back to another episode of Where's My Podcast. And today we're joined by two very special guests. I think this is the first episode we've ever done with two people, you know. Big up
it's a
you
pleasure.
two.
It's a pleasure.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. It's an honor having you two here. We're joined by my guys, Rajan and Kev, the guys behind Fred Culture Blog.
Yes, sir.
Man,
yes, sir.
them, thank you so much for coming. Man.
Oh, thanks for having us, man.
Oh, well, you know, twins or something.
We said the exact same thing.
Everything's in sync.
Too much time together,
Even
bro.
before we started recording, these two were talking. I'm sitting opposite them. They're both like this.
I didn't even realize. It was just like,
movement.
it just felt right.
But you know, that's why you lot's content's so good, because the chemistry is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you man are
Appreciate
actually
that, bro.
brothers. You get me?
Yeah, no, fair.
But so obviously, as I was saying to both of you before, when I start the episode, I basically say why you, the guest, sit in the chair. And for me, there's so many reasons. Like, obviously, we were talking about this off camera, but I feel like when I come across a lot of quote unquote fashion content, it doesn't appeal to me because I feel like sometimes when people decide to do fashion content, it's like they talk in a certain way.
Yeah.
But they feel like they have to dress in a certain way. They got to move in a certain way. And I can't lie, to me, it just doesn't seem natural, innit? Whereas when I first came across you guys, I'm like, I like these guys. And the reason I liked you is because I could resonate with you lot in terms of the way you spoke. You lot both dress so fly. Like, I'm learning from you. Like, I see the way flipping Kev crop stuff and that. I'm like, yo, like, shit. You get me? So obviously the way you guys present stuff, but more so, it just seemed like you lot are so authentic, man. And I really want to give you guys the opportunity to speak about why you've created such a platform, and also to allow people to get to know you guys. Because deep, all your content is you asking other people questions. Like, nobody asks you lot nothing. You get me?
Bro, that's so true.
But you know me being the curious person I am, I had to get you two here.
Appreciate
And
it, bro.
obviously, as I was telling you before as well, you lot have been doing this for a couple of years now. So whether you know it or not, you've built up a wealth of knowledge about fashion in general, more so branding and why people wear certain brands and whatnot. So I think our main audience, people who, you know, have fashion brands and want to get into fashion, could learn a lot from you both, innit? So yeah, I'm going to be picking your brains today.
Let's go, man.
Let's see what's in there, innit?
But yeah, so obviously we got to start off right at the beginning. Who are you two as individuals? Where are you from? Take it away.
You go first.
I'm Rajan. I'm from Harrow. Yeah, man. Co-founder of Fred Culture Blog. 9 to 5, I work in recruitment. Yeah, man. Just try to be as steezy as possible in a corporate world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
And yeah, I'm Kev, co-founder of Fred Culture.
Let's go.
The same thing as you. From Wembley. Should I say my age? 25. And I do IT audit as like my 9 to 5. And then this is a little side thing we've got going on. Hopefully
Yes, sir.
trying to make the transition soon.
You man are proper honest, you know. People never really say their jobs in that.
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
But
Nah,
I think it's good that
yeah,
people
no,
that.
for sure. It's transparency, innit? Like,
yeah, man. You
it's
lot
who
are
we are.
hustlers. You're balancing two roles at the same time, man.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
God willing, one day straight fashion.
Oh,
Here we are,
hopefully,
That's
man.
the dream, innit?
Try
Here we
it.
are, man. Rubbing
dream.
shoulders with Skepta.
Start
I mean,
rocking that.
exactly, man.
Yeah.
But how did you two meet though?
School, bro.
Okay.
So,
Secondary
yeah,
school.
like secondary school. So about year 8 or year 9.
Mm.
Like, so yeah, there's a large group of us. There's like eight of us that all just became boys, and have been boys ever since. And then yeah, that was it, man. Literally, like I think it was probably English. It was the first time I like actually started chatting to this guy.
English, Miss McGurr.
Yeah, Miss McGurr. Shout out Miss McGurr.
Why do we say
Yeah,
the
that
same
was
thing
weird.
at the same time all the
There was
time,
there
man?
was a time he was trying to take a sly picture in the class.
Oh my days, yeah.
And he had his like phone on loud, right? So it just went off, like you just had the camera noise. And I sat next to him, and then that kind of like solidified our friendship because we both ended up getting told off. None of us would say who done it. And
Oh,
then-
you man read for each other from the
Come
jump,
on, man,
yeah?
you had to,
Had to, man. Had
It
to.
was one of those ones.
But yeah, man, ever since then.
That's it, man.
And obviously, we're not going to sit here and talk all about secondary school, but from when you lot met, like, was fashion a common interest of yours? Because I know when we was younger, like, obviously we're in school wearing our uniform and that, and you're not necessarily cognizant of the fact that you care about fashion, but was there something that kind of drawn you two together? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think
Yeah.
fashion drew us together. I think it just happened to be that we were both kind of into it. But we weren't, like when we first met, we weren't really into it too tough. But then we sort of grew into being more involved in like looking at more fashion stuff, and then
Yeah, fact.
we sort of had that in common.
Yeah, because I think it was one of those ones like we were young, right? We weren't really into fashion. It was more so like,
And we were fucking had no money whatsoever.
yeah,
to be honest.
like
So yeah,
broke. So yeah, I think we just kind of always knew that. I think our group as well used to dress a bit different in school.
When you say different, what do you mean?
Like,
Like how were other people dressing in comparison to the way you lot were dressing?
I think other people were. I don't know, man.
trying to not throw shade on anyone from our
Yeah.
school. I don't know. I
say-
think I can't pinpoint exactly what other people are wearing, but I feel like just the aura around us. You know when you just feel like you lot are just like, you just feel like such main character syndrome when you're with your boys, and we're all like, when it's non-school uniform day and you're like, yo, everyone just comes through
Yeah,
steez,
that's
just
what I
like,
mean. Yeah,
looking hard.
like that sort of thing. And I think as well, like there was that element of like in our school. I think it was like, to be honest, I think in most high schools, secondary schools, you've got like guys that dress road, guys that just like whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know,
like
what,
the dad.
trendy.
Yeah, no, but then just like I'm saying like even just sneaky,
Okay,
and then there's guys that just have that sort of like swag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that was just kind of us, like just wearing different things, like not your, I don't know, you like your black Ralph with like, do you know what I mean? Like a jumper, like Ralph jumpers and Armani jeans with an Armani pouch. Instead, we'd come through with something else, you know?
Yeah, well, because obviously I remember when we were younger, like, see, you're wearing a Ralph Lauren hat today. When we was younger, like the main brands that people wore to be cool or dress nice was bloody True Religion,
Yeah,
Ralph Lauren,
yeah.
Franklin and Marshall.
Bex and Hershey. Was
Yeah,
it
Bex-
Hershey?
Bex-
You know what I'm
Bex and
saying?
Hershey,
Lyland
yeah.
Scott, even when we was
Yeah.
younger, even Hackett to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So what sort of brands were you guys wearing that kind of made you lot stand out?
Kind of those brands, man. But it was
Well,
like
even
how
like
we
skate
wore them.
brands as well, though.
Yeah, like
like
skate
Obey
brands,
and like, you know, that Tumblr kind of fashion, like back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to see all those pictures and stuff. Like that was like heavy inspo.
Yeah, man. And I think for me as well, like, so I got long hair, like my hair's like mad long. I'm Sikh, right? So I've always worn a beanie if I'm not wearing a turban. So wearing like I remember my first beanie I ever got like properly was a Lyland Scott one. That's what I mean.
What,
Like
with
wearing
the
that,
yellow bird on
no,
it,
with
yeah?
a red bird.
Red
bro.
bird, yeah.
And I remember like, I think it was year 11 where I just started thinking, you know what, man, I'm just gonna wear it to school. They can't tell me to take it off. Like, what are they gonna do? And then that just kind of became my thing. Like that was me, like, do you know what I mean? And then trying to just, that's when I started thinking, okay, I can
Switch
now,
up the beanies.
yeah, now I can come to school with like, you know, some jeans instead of trousers, because I was like, they let me get away with a hat. Like, let's just see where the resistance is. And then from there, I think like, yeah, year 10 and year 11 is where I'll probably try to diversify from the likes of, you know, what everyone else was wearing.
So, do you know what I find so interesting? Yeah, we've spoken to a lot of people now, yeah, and I feel like 70% of the people we've had on this platform have referenced like that sort of aesthetic, the Obey, ASAP Rocky type aesthetic. Yeah. What do you think drew you guys to that?
ASAP Rocky, man. I'll be real.
Okay.
That was for me, like that sort of like, and also I used to skate back in the day.
Yeah.
No, I was terrible though, so I kind of stopped. But that whole like style, I was telling Kev, like one of my boys from school must have thought that I left the Machino top at his house, and I didn't even know what Machino was, bro. So I'm just rocking it, and it's like mad baggy, and I'm like, yeah, I like the look of this. And it's just like some like black tee, and then like from there, that was like my style. Then I was like, cool. Like, do you know like the Wiz Khalifa kind of style? Like he'd kind of come out.
But like really colourful.
Like, yeah, just like your like, back then it was like skinny jeans and baggy tops, you know, like, but then like layering, like, you know, you put different things on, and then the Bay was massive. What else was massive?
I think it's more of like, with that question, it's more of like who's wearing it rather than what the item actually is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? Like,
Fact.
if you see like I used to watch bare YouTube, innit? Like hella American YouTubers. So like seeing them, obviously I'd like look up them and be like, yo, these lot are mad. And seeing what the pieces they wore obviously made me want to cop the piece as well. Not even too much to see like, because then you just sort of, you're buying it for the lifestyle rather than the brand itself kind of thing, innit? So I think that's why like Obey had that lifestyle around it, you know what I'm trying to say? So that's why I sort of shopped into that sort of skater kind of vibe.
That makes sense. I think it's just the other end of why people wore Trapstar and Ralph Lauren and True Religion, because that's what the hood guys were wearing.
Yeah, facts. That's
so
it.
everybody just thought, oh shit, this is how we're meant to dress. You know what I'm saying? Not that we want that type of lifestyle, but it just everybody kind
like
of
the cool, like people think that's cool back in the day.
Cool,
like,
yeah, those brands were like synonymous with money.
Yes.
So then obviously if you dress like that, then you look like you got money, and then obviously like the whole bad boy thing as well. Like you just think that's gonna get all the girls. Do you know what I mean? Like that was like I think how a lot of people thought in our school.
And to be fair, it kind of did.
Yeah,
because I feel like with how you guys are describing the way you dressed, were you lot seen as almost like outsiders to a certain degree? Like almost like you had your own sort of clique or community and everybody else was just everybody else.
Yeah, I want to say, yeah. I think like in our school, in our year anyway, there was like 2 halves of the year and they were kind of mad divided. But yeah, no, I think definitely like we always got on with everyone. We were cool. But then like it wasn't a mad divide. But I think, yeah, definitely like we always kept ourselves to ourselves. Like I said, our group was quite big as well. Like, so we just used to hang about like
Our group
in a corridor as well. Like not even in the playground. Like we'd be in like in the history corridor. I remember, like, so that'd be where we were, you know? So we weren't really like trying to be around the other like people in the year as well. I think, yeah, we were quite cliquey.
Yeah. But even to be fair, like when it comes to like what we were wearing, I feel like even like in secondary school, people didn't really care too much what you as long as it wasn't so like outlandish and crazy.
That's it.
If you wore something different, they wouldn't like it wouldn't set us apart from anyone else because no one's really looking at fashion.
I hear it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like we were obviously looking at fashion, but like internally just in our group, but
That's
like
it.
majority of the school probably didn't give a fuck what we were wearing. Like, do you know what I'm
No,
saying?
exactly, yeah. It's one of them ones. I think it was like I said, yeah, they were all like the other people that wanted to wear like, I don't know, or wanted to kind of portray that road image, they'd all hang out together anyway and they'd be kind of removed. And they were the only other people that would probably ask what you're wearing, but not to praise you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
how much it costs.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Do you know what I find interesting about that as well? Because you made a really good point, Kevin. You was like, no one even really cared what anyone was wearing like that. But like, I feel as though you guys and how you dressed were pretty much fashion forward in a sense. Because if you fast forward to now, like the people that are almost quote unquote in fashion or doing things within fashion tend to be those people that had that type of aesthetic. Do you know what I mean? But back then, you guys didn't see it as fashion forward. You just saw it as we're dressing how we want to dress.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And also it's like, I think a big thing for me was like hand-me-downs, man. Like my older cousins used to give me a lot of clothes. And like, just because I'm not buying any new clothes. I was, you know what I mean? I was skint. So yeah. So then like, that kind of helped me out, I think, as well, with just like opening my eyes to maybe it doesn't need to be a brand name. If you like the look of something, then it can be, you know, whatever.
Yeah. And I think that plays into how you choose to oh my God, tongue twister. How that plays into how you choose to dress in the future. Because I feel like that's kind of liberating in the sense where you're like, hold on a minute, I don't need to spend X amount to wear this. I like the way this looks and it costs 10% of the price. So I'm just gonna buy that.
Yeah.
And I think that manifests in you guys' style. Because when I look at you lot now, it's like you just dress how you want, innit?
Yeah, bro. I feel like with brands, like you live and you learn because the amount of times we go on Wembley Market and cop like, bro, Wembley Market copping fake Adidas triple straps. You know what I'm saying? The amount of fake new era hats, and then you know when people started like checking the inside of your hats to make sure they were original.
Bro.
I was like, yo, don't worry. I'll show you my later.
Literally.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Wembley Market.
Wembley Market was elite.
Oh my
bro,
gosh,
so elite.
Broski, you know I went there only once. Do you know why? Because I got robbed there. Broski, I got robbed there. Never went back.
Oh, bro.
I can't.
That's the real reason why you don't like North West.
That's the
yeah.
Trauma. But speaking of Wembley and your heritage and whatnot, obviously you two are both of Indian descent, right? Indian culture when it comes to fashion is different because we don't look at it as like within like the fashion world, but I feel like your culture, especially when it comes to weddings and things like that, are known for like flamboyance and colour, do you know what I'm saying? And opulence to a certain degree. So like, do you feel like your culture influenced how you dressed in any way?
I wouldn't say until like recently, to be fair. Because when I first started dressing, I would obviously try to get different pieces, but I was still playing it safe. Yeah. It's only recently I've started to experiment with more colour and stuff like that. Yeah. So I say in terms of like the colour aspect of things, only recently I've started to draw from like Indian heritage and stuff like that. And even like patterns and like materials used and stuff like that. I'm paying a lot more attention to that in terms of brands. And there's quite a few like Indian brands like made in India, kind of startup brands that I'm actually starting to pay a lot more attention to. I'm like, yo, it's mad to see how they've basically made like almost like a streetwear, like modernized twist to like Indian fashion.
What does it kind of look like? Because I can't even picture that.
Bro, it's like, I don't even know what the name of the textiles are, but there's just like certain type of like textiles, like
it's like a lot of linen, a lot of canvas. But I think as well, like going back on that, it's kind of like, for me, I've only ever really looked at it again, like recently, because when you look at India as a country, and even like my grandma, like my aunties, my sister, like a lot of Indian ladies know how to sew. And like very good
So
tailors.
clutch.
Like,
Oh my God, so
bro,
clutch.
it comes in so, trust me. But
What
then
you
it's
say when the
like,
button pops off of your
bro,
has it ever happened to you in school?
quick, mum, can you take these up?
Bro.
Like, if my trousers are too long, can you take these up?
Recently, bro, I started to tell my mom to like, because I like myself to be a bit more cropped, right?
Mm.
I remember the first time I told my mom to crop it, she's like, "Why the fuck are you cropping it? Like, are you a girl?" And I'm like, "Mom, just do it. Just trust the process, man." I'm trying to say, but it's so handy to just have her there.
Yeah,
like.
exactly. And then I think like that kind of came into how I like thought about dressing, because then you realize, oh wait, like for years, like ages, like forever, India's had this thing where they've been like really good with different textiles and producing textiles. And I think I was in like a museum. I don't even know where I was here, but I saw like they were weaving gold into their like dresses, and that's like mad. I was like, who, like, what? So then from there, I was like, that's when I started paying attention to the fashion scene in India. And I think as well, it's like, it helps because like it brings that kind of representation, and then we can kind of then connect in a way, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's, no, sorry, go on, Kev, go on.
Yeah, even though I don't think like the actual like outfits and stuff like that, like what like the fashion is back there, it's not really like synonymous with what we like.
Nah, exactly, definitely not.
It's nice to see brands out there, like streetwear brands out there, putting that twist on there, making it more like appealing to us as well. It's nice to represent in that way. But then also, I feel like I've always had like, when it comes to wearing Indian outfits, I remember whenever there was a wedding or whatever, I'd hate the most uncomfortable things ever. So I just,
It's all like this, like, it's the way that they like embroider it, it's like proper like,
just itching
Yes,
you, bro.
itchy,
Like,
yeah.
I've never
fuck,
thought
bro,
about
yeah.
that, you know.
Itching.
It looks good
Can we
though.
swear?
yeah, it looks good
Yeah, of
though.
course you can do it.
Oh yeah, but fashion is paying, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
you know what I'm
facts,
saying?
facts. Do
Literally.
you know with Indian fashion, that's for like weddings and that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know the women wear saris and whatnot. What do the guys wear? Like that waistcoat thing.
Yeah, it's like a waistcoat.
Waistcoat.
Yeah.
Like, it could even be like a long. Kind
Yeah,
of,
they look cold though.
Yeah.
And it's like only recently, like, I feel like I think like with Western culture that you've got a few like people that were born here, that have gone back to like, you know, to India to like go to the manufacturers and actually create something that maybe represents like that sort of fusion, that Brit-Asian kind of fusion a bit more. Because like I remember back in the day, like looking for like wedding outfits for my like when my sister got married, my older sister, and I was like, this is dead. Like I'm not being seen dead in this. But then my other sister got married like not too long ago, forgotten now. And like when I was looking at outfits, I was like, actually, I don't know if it's because maybe I was more into fashion, but I think it was like there was just more out there that was like, actually, this can run. This looks quite cool.
This is fly. Like,
Whereas before it was just like the colors were too bright. You know, it was all just mad. Like I felt like I was like a walking like Skittle or something.
Bro, I find that so funny because it's so interesting how what society makes you think can really like affect your perception of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Like because certain things aren't deemed as cool, and you know you made the point about it has too much color. What does that even mean? Just because we're in London, we have to wear grey and black.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
bro.
It's mad, but no, that's such a good point, and I'm happy how you said how. And deep, obviously, you got to the point we're older now. You know your style. You know how you want to dress. So whatever you see, you're like, yeah, I can wear it like this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna wear that waistcoat with this look. You get it. So
match it up. Like,
you get it, certainly, man. But so taking things a bit forward. When was the point where you lot were like, cool, we like fashion. We know we like fashion. In fact, when was the point where you were just like, we know we like fashion? Because before you was kind of just like, this is just how we were dressing because I saw shit on YouTube and whatnot. Yeah, when did you know that fashion is something you care about?
For me, I think like year 10 and year 11, I used to sell sweets in school, So I remember like when I wanted to do that and the only goal was to buy clothes, that's when I think I was like, I'm in. Like I wanna have nice shit. And that was like it all just went on like just dumb stuff, like I don't even know, like trainers. Like the amount of Air Forces I bought, and then they just get creased anyway.
You have to buy a new pair.
And it's just like ridiculous. And it's like stuff like that, like Air Maxes, all that sort of stuff. Like that's when I really realized, like, you know, I think as well, like we were basically trying to like start up a little like money thing on the side, yeah. So we buy these belts online and try to flip them.
What,
And
fake
then-
ones, yeah?
Yeah.
From like, you know, iOffer and all that. Shout out iOffer.
Shout out. I
But
remember
then, yeah,
when we
bro,
first hit the lick on that.
literally, like I remember
We went super
got
dry that
one.
same day.
yeah, literally. Yeah, so imagine this, there's 3 of us now, yeah. We're all at his yard. I've called him like a couple of days ago, like before, going, yo, look, man, we can buy this belt and we can put it online, eBay, nobody's gonna know. And he was like, how about we go halves? Because I'm always the one that gets excited first. And he's like, calm down. How about we go halves and we see, yeah? And then so we done it, bro, and it popped. And then like literally, while the money, because it was like back in them days, it was like 21 days to wait till like PayPal, like the money came through, yeah. So we like going to Wembley outlet that had just opened, looking at like all the super dry jackets, and there's 3 of us like after revising, we're like, yeah, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. So we all got like very similar jackets.
Just different colours or something.
Yeah.
And then
That Power Rangers, bro. Actually.
and I'll never forget, yeah, I've gone to this guy's house. We're about to go to like Brent Civic Centre to revise. And then his mum comes through with the money and like dishes it out. And I was like,
Serious?
let's go. Like,
Wait, how much was it though?
bro? It was like 3 bills. So nah. It was like
3 bills
bill
each. Oh my goodness
Bro, 3
gracious.
bills
I'd be
each.
up. I'd leave school.
Yeah, bro, I'd
School.
be done. That's me, bro. I'm Alan Sugar, bro.
Bro, a proper Hermes one.
Yeah,
Hermes.
yeah, Hermes. Bro. And the mad thing is, yeah, I remember like when I first like tried it, yeah. Imagine I had to go Wood Green, yeah, to buy these like LV ones. I met this like ropey guy. I was thinking, bro, I'm gonna end up getting kidnapped. If I say I don't want it now, he's just gonna get rid of me. Yeah, so I like ended up basically paying him for belts I didn't even want, yeah. And they didn't even go. Like I ended up just giving them out to like guys in
What
the
were
younger
they? They
years.
were bad fakes, yeah.
They were whack, bro. But it's like one of those things where I tried to do all my research, and then like I only found what I was like the answers I was looking for after I copped the belts. Anyway, don't buy fake stuff and sell it, man. That's bad.
Hey, you got to start somewhere though.
You do.
That's
You
true.
got to start somewhere.
That's true.
So-
I guess for me, what was the question again?
When you knew you like cared about fashion.
I would say, I feel like when I realized the confidence it gave me, because then like in like secondary school and stuff, I had like just like bad acne and stuff like that, so I wasn't really like feeling confident in that. But then when I started like dressing well, like without even realizing it, I just felt way more confident. And then I sort of made the connection. That was because I'm dressing better. Obviously, I can't control what my skin looks like, but I can control what I wear. So then when I made that like connection in my head, that I feel so much better when I leave the house feeling sick. That's when I knew I was like, yo, yeah, I need to continue doing this. Like,
Kev, that's so real, and I resonate with that so much, you know, because even me, when people ask me why I kind of got into fashion, because I never really understood the fashion world for one, and I never really understood why people cared about it. It's only when something similar happened to me where I was kind of like Kevin, I was like, hold on a minute, yeah, I feel good about myself because of how I'm dressed, and then it made me realize how powerful fashion can be. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So going forward from this, obviously you guys know you love fashion. When was the point where you was like, let's do something within fashion?
that was like
mad
early
story,
as well, to
yeah.
be fair.
Is it?
Like,
Yeah, like
year
year
10.
11. Yeah, year 10,
year
year
10 or 11. But we were like, fuck it, yeah, let's start up a clothing brand. So then, you know how I feel like all friendship groups who are into fashion, they always say, oh yeah, we'll start up a clothing brand, it'll be sick.
Well, I feel like on my phone, yeah, somewhere, I'll save everyone the pain.
Yeah, don't, it's a
But
bad
literally, I've
bad
still
logo.
got the logo, like.
I remember you like sold sweets for the week and you were like, yeah, we got enough money to
Print
get
the
someone
t-shirt.
to do a logo. Get someone to do a
We'll get the
logo.
logo done.
I remember it was like a diamond or something like
We
that.
thought it was hard.
And it still said Fred Culture on it. Like that was still the name. That
No
we,
fucking
Yeah.
Yeah, so Fred Culture was the name from day
from
dot.
year 10 or 11.
And then we were looking at like Billionaire Boys, like that sort of like
That's
logo.
Bape.
That sort of aesthetic. Because we didn't, bro, I'll be so real. I didn't even know what Bape was. I knew what Billionaire Boys Club was because Brent Cross, Fenwick used to sell it. Like that's how I used to know what like Billionaire Boys was. So I remember just thinking, yeah, I like that whole style. But then going forward, I didn't even really know what we were gonna design. Like
No clue.
because also I feel like I don't know, man. I was like,
You just get excited, and you think, yeah, I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna
Facts.
blow.
and then you
like-
realize like, oh, it's actually mad hard. And then I remember going on AliExpress here, thinking that's how I'm gonna find the supplier. Like I wasn't even thinking about a relationship between the suppliers. I was just thinking I'm gonna send them this logo. Say print it like there, and then
Yeah,
send me
I'm
up.
gonna
just
order
send a
one
picture. and
t-shirt.
just- Right here.
Yeah, right here.
Right here.
No, like, I had no idea, and then I remember like seeing all of these like minimum orders, like quantity, and I was
See,
just like,
500 t-shirts. Like,
yeah,
The
I was
amount
like,
of sweets after shop.
yeah, I was like, this is
what
long.
about fake belts?
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
start
bro.
selling like more than sweets, mate.
Oh.
So yeah, then we just I think we just kind of like That just
the idea just fizzled out, and then we went our separate ways after uni. I mean, like when we left sixth form, and he was in Covenant, I was in Leicester, and then we sort of just during COVID we sort of reconnected because I was fucking bored, man. Like I was like known as like clinically vulnerable, so I wasn't allowed out too tough. I was just stuck in my yard, so I was getting bored. So I just told him, I was like, "Yo, should we like look into doing that again?" So we had a little conversation, and then we thought the best thing we could do is if we start like a blog kind of thing, then build up a following from that. Then it would be so much easier when it comes to making a brand, because then we have a following already, and then they're more inclined to buy our product. So then that's what we said. All right, cool. Let's start off the blog first. So then we first started in like
2022, early 2022 or 2021?
2021.
2021, yeah.
Yeah, I think
May 2021, man.
Yeah, and then we started just doing fit pics and stuff.
Literally, like we put like, but I remember like packing like 2 bags, throwing them into the back of his car. It was actually that long. I wasn't even driving back then. So yeah, just jumped into the back of his whip, and then we just drove to like bare different locations. Got changed in his car, jumped out. So it looked like we took like. It looked like 5 different days, but it was in the space of like 3
You got to be
hours.
resourceful, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then we put that out, and then.
But you know what, Kev? Sorry to cut you, actually. Because, like, what made you reconnect and say, let's bring this brand back? Let's bring Fred culture back?
Because obviously, like, I think we were boys, isn't it? So it was like, we used to always, like, sometimes we would be out, we'd get drunk and then be like, oh, Fred culture.
You remember that?
Yeah. We used to be like, Fred culture, yeah. And we'd, like, laugh about it. And then, like, the idea of a blog, I think, had kind of, like, oh, that would be sick if we were to launch a brand. Like, if we were. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think that was the kind of...
And I think, I guess, during, like, COVID and stuff, that's when TikTok was... started to become a bit more crazy, and you see these people making fashion content and stuff like that as well. So then we saw like, fuck it, we might as well try something like that. Try to get into that space, since there's a more accessible way now to get into that space. You know what I'm trying to say, like Instagram and TikTok. So then we had a conversation and we just said, yeah, fuck it, let's give it a go, because obviously the time that we were like obviously separated from like unions, whatever, we were still getting more and more into fashion as we were. So by the time like it was COVID or whatever, and I was thinking, what can I do? We were like really like quite into fashion, like in our own rights. We had our own individual style, way more than when we first had the idea of creating a clothing brand.
Yeah.
So it just made sense. And
you know how you mentioned you came across fashion content? What type of content were you seeing, and what did you feel or think about that content?
I remember just seeing a lot of like get ready with me kind of content, and like that was pretty much all I really saw too tough really, but it was just like mad to see. Like I was just looking at like, yo, look how many people are viewing this one person creating, like he's just in his room just creating outfit. Changed. Yeah, and like look how much. And then I remember I started seeing them do like branded stuff, like people sending them out stuff, and I was like, oh shit, like you can just make videos in your room and then people can just send you stuff like that just from like mad. Like so I was thinking, yo, there's definitely a space to like give it a go anyway, at least. Because you're thinking we do this every day for free, like we put it on every day.
You know what I'm saying, man? That's it. And I think as well, like it was one of those ones where like you used to only think the only way that you can really kind of do that is if you were like, I don't know, on Love Island. And then like TikTok came along and it was like
normal people are doing it.
It was all possible, It was mad.
So, and you see how I made the when I said the question, I said, what did you think and feel about what you were seeing? Like, even though you saw people doing it, and you're like, raw people can do it. Is that something you told yourself you could do? Like, at that point, were you already willing to be like, you know what, I'm going to get in front of a camera and get changed?
Nah, I feel like we started Instagram first before we even started TikTok.
Okay, so just pictures at this point.
Yeah, just pictures at this point in the beginning, because I feel like I still had that, you know, like I feel like everyone in the beginning I'm not downloading TikTok. I'm not a child. I don't want to see people like dancing on my phone. So I feel like I was still like in that kind of mind frame of like, maybe I'm too old to get TikTok. You know what I'm trying to say? Even though like, and then when I downloaded it and I started doing it, I was like, all right, cool, this is sick. But at the same time, like if my friends find out I'm doing TikTok, they're gonna violate me. Like, oh,
Kev, that's why I asked the question I asked, because for me it's that mental barrier that you have to overcome. Yeah. So like, when did you kind of okay, cool. Let's go back to when you first started putting Fred Culture Blog on TikTok, right? What sort of content were you making? Was it the get ready with me type stuff at the beginning, or was it something different?
So I think it was like a combination of like
outfit days.
It was like outfit of the days, or it'd be like top 5 essentials, or where to buy shorts, where to buy jackets, or this is a sale on, these are some cool pieces, or whatever.
That's a throwback.
Yeah. So it was just like that, or like I remember I used to do this thing on my TikTok where it was like outfit battles. So I'd put some pictures of rappers. Like I think I did like Little Yachty against ASAP or something like that. And I did I'd show pictures of Little Yachty and I'll show pictures of ASAP and I'll just do like a poll on a thing, like that kind of stuff. Because still didn't want to show my face just yet as well. I remember when we started taking pictures on Instagram, because COVID was about, we're like, oh, it's calm, we can just wear a mask in all these pictures.
Yeah.
Even though all of our following was our family, so they knew it was us, yeah. It was family and friends. We're like, oh, no, I don't want to show my face, man. I can't show my face. Even
Shout out
though
to
all
all
of our followers
37 followers, man.
yeah, they all knew it was us anyway. I was like, nah, I can't show my face, man. I can't show my face. I remember it took like 6 months before I actually showed my face. Even when I was doing Get Ready With Me videos in my room, I had my mask on. How does that make sense?
Wait. Why did you want to hide your face so much?
I don't know. I just felt too embarrassed, you know. Like I didn't have. It's just like trying to get the confidence, like to do something like that in the beginning was mad. So I thought, baby steps. Let me make the content but cover my face, even though people already know it was me. But I thought, I don't know. In my own mind, it just felt like nice. It felt more easier to do.
Yeah, less
than
vulnerable.
having my. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
So yeah, man, I was just still like embarrassed, man, because I feel like. Because the following was obviously so low, obviously we just started, obviously it would be low. But in my mind, I was thinking, oh man, people are going to think I'm a neek doing this. Like, oh, it's going to be so bad. But
I didn't do TikTok for time. I feel like it's only been, probably about 3-4 months since I've actually been taking it seriously, man. Considering that we've been doing the blog for years.
And
like,
how comes? Was it similar reasons to what Kevin's saying?
I don't know, man. I was just quite lazy with it. Like TikTok, I was just like, yeah, like, it's fine. We've got Insta. You know, I didn't see the opportunity. I just didn't open my eyes. I was just quite stubborn to it. I don't know. Like, I never really paid it enough attention, I think, to even be stubborn. I was just like, I'll just get my stuff done on the blog, like on Insta. And then that's me, man. And then, like, I feel like I wasn't really, like, putting in 100%, you know? And now, like, I feel like one day I don't even know what happened. I woke up and I was like, actually, I want to do this. Like, don't know why I'm just, you know, cruising through it kind of thing. And then from there, I think it's like, we've seen the benefit, I think, from like 2 people actually like really focusing and putting in that time.
Yeah. No, for sure. And going back to Fred Culture blog. So obviously at first you weren't doing none of the street stuff. What made you guys say, let's start doing the street stuff? And the reason I ask that is because I personally don't know of many people, even though it seemed something that was trendy, like would see a lot of that type of content. I couldn't tell you many people's names. So obviously we know of like Kofi, was it? Kofi.
Unknown Vlogs, yeah.
The People Gallery, obviously my man from New York, whatever. But other than them two, I didn't really know of anybody that had like a big enough brand in the street interview space for people to know who they were. So did you guys see that as a gap and an opportunity, or you was just like, let's do it because we're seeing other people do it?
So I think it was it all started off because one of our friends, he does TikTok as well, right? But he does like music TikTok.
Okay.
So essentially he talks about like breakdowns of artists, like portfolio basically, like what are their favorite
kind
songs
of
from
what
there,
we do
whatever.
for fashion, he does for music.
Yeah.
In that sense.
And then so he had that idea to do street interviews for music. So then we would go obviously help him film or whatever and just go on a day out with him to see him film. And we were like, it makes sense that we should do this for fashion. Like Unknown Vlogs got mad success from it as well, but there's no one in the TikTok scene doing it. So then we thought, fuck it, let's give it a go anyway. We're chilling with our boys anyway. We're literally out where we're usually filming. Might as well just bring our own mics and just try to get some interviews done as well while we're just like chilling. So then we started that and then it started picking up. So we're like, oh shit, like let's keep it going. And we just kept it going ever since pretty much. Cool.
Let's go back to when you first started doing it. Because obviously, remember, Kev, I was telling you before you started recording that, I seen your video when you first started doing that.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to talk about that is because I think some people think doing the street interview thing is easy because in terms of, let's say, the content spectrum, it's quote unquote lower lift than doing like a long form YouTube video or something.
Yeah.
So
all they see is like 20 seconds.
You get it. So they think that's all it takes. But what was it like when you first started and what sort of things go into doing those type of interviews?
When it first started, it was tough. Like,
facts.
I remember, I think I went out 2 or 3 times now, and I was just standing there thinking, I'm gonna ask this person, and I didn't ask anyone for the first few times. Then I realized something beautiful, which is called alcohol. Yeah, I'm joking, I'm not gonna say beautiful, but then I remember we went for like a dinner or something, or like a lunch. We had a few drinks now, whatever. And then we went back out now, and I was like, "Oh, this is so much easier." Like,
Yeah.
but it was just that liquid confidence, man. You just needed that.
What drink?
What drink?
What were you
Ooh, probably like rum and cokes.
Yeah,
it was
quickly.
literally just rum
Yeah.
and cokes. Maggie's.
Yeah.
A
I
bunch
should have
of
known.
Maggie's, rum and cokes. And then Tesco tinnies, man. Shout out the mojitos.
Which ones?
Yeah.
Oh, the mojito ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Do you
mojitos,
know
bro.
about the gin, the Gordon's ones?
Yeah,
banging.
Yeah, that's tough.
And it was
that's
like,
serious.
I think I remember the first ever like interview I wanted to do, right, was with JC.
Yes, the
Yeah.
influencer.
So I was like, oh, I've seen him without some like Broken Planet pop up.
Wait,
like.
did you man just bump into him when you first recorded with him, or did you tell him to come out or something?
No, so I think Kev, you.
I bumped into him first because
Okay.
I must have gone to Soho where we usually film now, and I saw him in Cole Buxton, and I was with my other guys. Like, oh my days, that's him. I was like, oh, celebrity. I was like, gas, yeah. So then I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna wait for him to come out, and then I'll interview him. And then obviously these times it was still at the beginning, so I was still nervous, or whatever. And I've looked at him now. And he's walked straight past me. I didn't say something to say that.
Yeah.
And then my guy was gassing me. He was like, yo, fucking just go do it, bro. Like,
Hey,
obviously
big up
the
your
page,
friend,
like-
man.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. He's a goat. He's helped out with the page Bears as well. But yeah, he's like, go do it. So then instead of like walking straight past him, I went all the way around, like ran all the way around so I can basically be next to him again, yeah? And then obviously I asked him, and that was sick for me. That was like the biggest interview I had at the time.
remember
And I
that,
was like,
man.
Oh, that went viral for you, lot, yeah.
no, just in terms of like
Better numbers, isn't it?
in terms of like someone I actually looked up to, because remember I was saying in the beginning, watching people on TikTok or whatever, he was one of the people
them.
I'd see on TikTok airs, and I was like, yo, to get him in an interview on my page, it was like mad.
Rajan, you don't do the street interviews, right?
Nah, I do, yeah.
Have you always done them, yeah?
Yeah, it's like, so I was in uni as well, like, or in Brum even. So when did I come down? I came down in 2022. So like there was a whole like 6-month period where I wasn't even in London to be getting content. Like I was working in Selfridges, so I was trying to get like a few like fit like that. And that's also kind of why I wasn't like too on it in terms of TikTok, because I was like, well, I'm in Brum, I'll get my outfit pictures, I'll put them on the blog, and then like TikToks I don't really need to do. And then I remember just like, just trying to kind of get into it and then just be kind of like doing it slowly and then being like, but I don't even know any questions, not really comfortable in that space, you know? And then there was like, just over time, just kind of found my feet. And then, yeah, man, like now it's like,
No, yeah, you lot
both doing it, yeah.
Speaking of that, right, so I've got 2 questions. The first one is, what sort of characteristics do you feel like people need to be able to do those street interviews? Of course, we have confidence, but think of some other ones. And the second question is, how, because obviously we see people doing the street interviews and whatnot, like how did you guys plan to make your street content different?
So I think for the first question, I think you just have to be like, first of all, just like be a friendly face, right? Because you're approaching random people on the street.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? You go up them with a smile. It's all about the approach, isn't it? I remember me and him were like, before we'd do a shoot, we'd be like, all right, cool, so what's your approach? And he'll practice on me and then I'll practice on him. And we'll be like, all right, cool, we got this nailed down now. Let's go ask people now. And then it's just about like, once you've got that approach down, then everything sort of flows from there. You just got to be like, kind, you got to be like, you got to have energy. You just got to reciprocate their kind of, like, even if they've got low energy, like, you know how you see like people's gallery, for example, no matter how low energy the person is, he's still like, damn, and he's still high energy.
And it's hard to do that. As in hard to, you're making such a good point, Kev, because I think it's so hard to stay upbeat when the person you're talking to isn't.
But it's about like maintaining that. Obviously there's the confidence side of things, but it's being energetic, being charismatic, and sort of just being able to like have a conversation. Like, you know, like it's as simple as it is, but a lot of people struggle to have a conversation. It's just a matter of like, if someone says something to you, like asks you a question, then they say something back, you obviously, you can pick up what they said and then throw something back at them, kind of thing. So I think that's a skill that we didn't usually have in the beginning. Like,
we used to just kind of be like,
question, answer. But like with other series that we've had, like Blue Posted, is like a new series that we started where it's more conversational. That helped us a ton with like trying to get into that bag of just having a conversation and just being open, just having confidence to just be able to have a normal conversation with anyone. And it's also, it's important when you do fashion kind of in content. I feel like me and him have, when we stand there, we're very picky about who we pick, and I feel like that's been important to us, like from the get go. Like,
Why are you very picky about that?
Just want good answers, man.
We want good answers, but we want good out. We like, it's not about how many, it's not about quantity, it's about quality, right? So we could be there on a day, there could be a bunch of people who are walking past us, but we only want the ones where we're like, yo, that guy's just kind of mad, like, I like that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Rather than just anyone.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think what you're looking for is like, you need that person to, obviously, you don't want to make content that has no value. So then if you're asking someone that doesn't bring any value, like not that they're irrelevant, but just in terms of like what the answers you're trying to get out of someone, what brands, because we don't really want to be talking about the same brands. You know, like we ask a question and there's 5 people say the exact same thing. So we need to find people that like, we need to curate that a little bit and just make like set up the right circumstances for that to happen, where people are kind of like given different answers, unique answers, things where, you know, brands that people wouldn't even like want to pair with each other, be like a complete like high fashion with like, I don't know, like a Uniqlo, but then make it work. And then hearing that, like, then it just kind of opens the conversation for like more people to do it and talk about it, instead of it just being like, I don't know, oh yeah, Supreme.
Because that's what it could really end up being like, especially in Soho.
Yeah. I think another, like 2 big characteristics that we didn't mention. Well, first one's obviously patience, because you're literally there for however long, like
hours.
Trying to.
What's the longest day you have done?
Probably like 7. But then again, like in between that, we're like obviously going out to eat, we're chopping out with people. Like when after an interview, we still like stay with the person for like 5 minutes or however long they want to have a conversation for, and stay we'll have a conversation with them off camera, just to build our network and help us. It's sort of like practice at the same time as well. And
I feel like also when we first started, like it was summer, so we used to be out like, and we were there with like our guys,
friends anyway.
like
So it's vibes,
even the guys that aren't doing content,
they'll just come down
because
chill.
then they know after we're going out. So it's like
it's like a
hangovers
whole day
were the thing.
And then I think the second one is just being like, a lot of people aren't comfortable with rejection. They take rejection to heart. If someone says no, it's not like, don't take it to heart. Don't think, oh, that's it, I'm vexed now or whatever. Just a matter of like just being like, all right, cool. Someone said no, that's fine. Let's move on to the next one. Move on swiftly. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, man.
Because I feel like in the beginning, when we used to get a no, we used to be so disheartened. And it used to take us a bit of time to recover. And then when it was back to back, we'd be like, oh, let's sack it off now. Today's done.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember there was a specific day that we got a no. Well, first of all, we had a few drinks. We were meant to have one, turn into a couple. We got out. We got a no. We went straight back to the pub. Straight back to the pub, and then we stepped back out, and then I think we got another couple no's, but also because we're slurring our words at this point. We're just 2 drunk guys trying to like.
Thank God we found our confidence and we don't need alcohol.
Exactly.
Anymore,
Nip that one in the bud.
Yeah.
But I think it's like just persistence, man. Like obviously you got confidence, but you need persistence. You need to be creative in your approach as well, because you can't just kind of like, even like when it comes to different like questions, you need to think of what will kind of, and maybe even like a follow-up question to kind of keep the conversation going. So I think you need to just be comfortable and just well-rounded in terms of like the type of people you can speak to. Because some people are quiet, like they might be down, but they might just be really quiet. And then trying to get that, make them comfortable to even tell you and talk to you, give you time.
And even like, I feel like being in like a corporate setting as well, like you obviously get people, like we don't obviously speak to people who speak like we do as well, like they'll be very formal, whatever. So it's having that like chameleon aspect of how to engage with different kind of people. So if it's someone like, if it's like you walking down the street, I'll be like, yo, what are you saying? I love what you're wearing today. Or if it's someone like I don't know, whoever, I'll be like, oh, love what you're wearing today, do you mind getting in a video? You know what I'm trying to say? Like being able to articulate yourself in different ways depending on the person is very important as well, to make them feel more comfortable.
You gotta, I love everything you guys are saying, by the way, because you're showing how it's so important to meet people where they are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as I said before, especially because of things like TikTok, like people think that content creation is easy, but there's so much that goes into it. And I think one of the most difficult things is creating, and you guys basically alluded to it, is basically creating an environment that allows people to feel like they can be themselves and talk honestly with you. And here, for example, this is the space we're in. It's a podcast, like, so it's kind of easier, quote unquote. Whereas when you're outdoors, it's like man can just cut straight away. So it's even more difficult. So that's why I rate you guys so highly for being able to have the type of conversations you're having. And going forward from the type of conversations you're having, that's why I fucks with you lot's content so much, because as I've seen you lot developed, I've noticed that you lot are trying to ask questions or create things that get more value from the people. So when you lot ask questions like, what 2 brands do you want to see collab or whatever, do you know what I'm saying? I think that's wavy, because you guys get people to say their rationale. And then when people say their rationale, it's like the listeners like, oh, that's interesting. So like, going back to the other question I asked, which was how you make your content different, over time, how have you guys kind of ensured that your content develops and doesn't go stale?
I think a big thing is obviously the questions we ask. We always try to change up the questions we ask every now and again. just to keep it refreshing. But also you got to realize that because we're just there, we're asking a whole bunch of random people. Like over like the next couple of years, we're gonna see the evolution of like style just from our videos. Like if you look at a video from like 2 years ago, from when we first started doing street interview content, to now, it's like completely different because street interview content is it's kind of lucky in a sense that whatever's in at that point is what's going to be talked about at that point. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's why we can always stay semi-relevant, even if we had the exact same question, what's your favorite fashion brand or whatever right now? We can always stay semi-relevant because it's whatever the people are feeling right now anyway. Yeah. So it's always keeping with the times. Yeah. But also like other stuff in terms of like how we like, for example, like how we shoot stuff. So like with our What You Earned, we started to do like close-ups of each item to make it feel a bit more like higher, like quality or whatever. Or like even introducing new series is like the Blue Posted and starting like other series. Spotlight. Spotlight. And like we started this new thing called Fashion Olympics and stuff like that. So like starting these other types of, it's basically like with Blue Posted, it's basically like street interview content, but it's a different layer completely, right? So it makes it feel so much more refreshing when it's literally, we could be asking the exact same questions we ask everyone while we're standing up, but we're just sitting down on chairs. But to people, it's like so much more refreshing.
Fact, it feels like a podcast. I can't lie.
Yeah, for sure. That's why it's so like how you wrap it up. Basically, you can always wrap it up in different ways, but it could still be the cause of it is still the exact same thing.
Yeah, man. And I think like people don't in like the Kev. Whoa.
Mate, I stumble in my words all the time. Don't worry.
Blood sugar. You want another sweet?
I think I've got too much blood sugar now. So it's like, in respect to like staying relevant as well, I think it's the value isn't really in the question, it's in the answer, isn't it? So it's like when you've got someone saying, you know, a new answer, people like will always want to know what the trend is, or they will always want to know, wait, what brands should actually collab? Like until the answers are done, it's always relevant. But then it's like, I think, like it's just about seeing what kind of, from a creative perspective and someone who's like trying to run a page, it's about seeing what questions work, because you can tell by the views, the interaction in the comments, and then you keep those ones on board, you filter out through the old ones, like maybe you keep doing them for a little while, so it's not like just a one and done. But then you just have to kind of introduce new questions or just try and gain kind of inspiration from elsewhere, just to kind of stay on point in terms of like, you know, just what you're kind of asking. Like I think we've had our core ones forever since we started, but then we were like literally saying, like we need to like add to it as well. And like my list, because I've got all my questions down on my phone, it's like my list like is just growing and growing. But then I have to like
still go back to the core ones every now and
again. Like, and sometimes I'll be so honest, I'll just forget the new questions, and I'm not getting my phone out because then that will just look double. Like, So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna ask for the ones I know, and then that just stays, and then thank God it does well. Like,
I think it's also important as well because where we film it's like the hub for fashion, isn't it? It's Soho, like outside AOD, you're always gonna bump into like cool dressed people, but also a lot of influencers. I feel like that's a big thing that's helped us grow. Like every now and again, we'll have an influencer on the page where we ask them questions or whatever, and then that actually like helps us so much more in terms of like views and interaction as well. Because you got to realize like the fashion influencer scene is fucking constantly growing, especially like over the last year or so. It's gone crazy, and you see like people who have like mad following as well, and they're always like around Soho, like at least like one weekend you'll catch them, innit? So that's a whole like other audience that we haven't tapped into. So just getting them on one interview and just tagging them in it, and if they repost it, then that's a whole other audience that are interacting with your stuff, that they're looking at your stuff like, oh, this is all new, when it's really like old stuff kind of thing. You know what I'm trying to say? So you just get that fresh audience from like other people you interview as well.
Yeah,
so
I think that's the beauty of the street stuff that you guys do, because when you're working with other people, as you're kind of saying, it basically opens you up to new audiences all the time. What I find so interesting about this stuff is, obviously you're saying sometimes you have to do 7-hour days and whatnot. And we were kind of speaking about this off camera as like, the love can only keep you going for so long. But like, how do you guys keep it fun for yourselves? And is that something you try to do to ensure that you can keep doing this for as long as you want to do it for?
I think in terms of like fun, like I'm with my boy at the end of the day. You know what I'm trying to say? We're just chilling, just like creating content, like just busting jokes. It's just a good time in general anyway. But then also, we've started to, because we always film on the same street as well, we started to build like our own little community in that
Oh,
in
so
that area as well.
coffee shop owners and
Coffee shop owners,
Yeah.
brand owners, like people who work in the stores and stuff as well.
Influencers that are always
Influencers
there,
are always there. So now it's just like whenever you go there, we're bound to bump into a few people that we've like seen in the past. Anyway, it's just good to have a conversation because it's just like that community feel is just so nice.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like your little getaway, innit?
That's it. I think as well, it's like we're human, right? So obviously there's days where it's like it does get boring, and then we're like, all right, well, let's leave it. Like we'll come back tomorrow, and then we'll just go and do things because we know that we have to do it. So we will end up doing it. But then if it's like dead, then we've got that thing where we can be like, okay, well, because our page is like more than just the kind of street interview stuff, we'll be like, all right, well, we'll get this out then. We'll get this out the way. Or then we just like kind of give it a break, kind of have a bit of time because you need that time to just decompress and make sure that you're not like on the roadside just looking moody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to be fair, what you got to realize is obviously we do 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
Yeah,
we have our jobs in it, so anything outside of that job is fun. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's like,
Like anything outside of that job. So I'm just gassed it's the weekend anyway.
that's what I mean.
I'm just out in Central, like just the atmosphere. I just love being in Soho. Like,
That's
I can't
it.
lie.
vibe, yeah.
It's just nice.
You-
Like
you're
it's
just hanging out.
Yeah. So
Really.
anything outside of Monday to Friday, I'm gassed. I'm
That's
there.
it, yeah, man.
You know what I mean? No matter if it's rain, cold, whatever,
Bro.
I'm there.
Do you know what I love about what you just said, Rajan? Yeah. I think it's so important when you're doing stuff where you're in front of the camera. It's so important that you are human.
Yeah.
And the point you made about days where you're just like, you know what, like, let's sack it off, let's go and do this, do something
Yeah.
else. I think content creators need to remember that because if you get into the zone where you're like, I have to keep doing this, and this, even when I don't feel this, and this, sometimes you end up becoming a bit robotic.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
unfortunately, when you're in front of the camera, that can translate. Like we're human beings, we understand social cues, and if you're
Yeah, man.
not smiling or you do a fake laugh at what someone says, people can feel that.
Yeah,
and I feel
yeah.
like that's often a
The
result
energy's
of
off.
maybe overworking and things like that. So I think that's something the listeners really need to acknowledge and listen to. Is like, bro, if you need to chill sometimes,
Yeah.
like, it's okay to chill.
And that's it. And it's like just because, you know, like I think and I think we do this quite well. Like if we make a good compromise, like if we're not gonna film, then we'll make sure we do some admin. Like because there's a whole bunch of admin behind the page trying to line things up, different like collabs, whatever. So then that's always good. But then yeah, just in terms of like staying motivated, it's always just like one thing that we like have always done and it always helps is literally like we'll just do a circle of that like little block of like just around Soho, just like going to like the different stores,
Like
have
a
a little
little
look
walk.
around,
Yeah.
say yo to the people that work there that might know us. And then we come back to it. And then it's like that little 10-15 minute like break.
Yeah.
It just like just realigns you like you're ready again. You're just like you're back in the zone.
And
then
feed off
also-
other people's energy as well,
Yeah.
innit? Like, while you're walking around and just
That's it.
seeing your friends or whatever.
That's it. And then it's just like, but then yeah, it's one of those. It's like, it's for me anyway. It feels exactly how it was like after school, where you just be like walking to the shop with your boys, and you're just hanging around. Like it's literally like that, except we record some of it now.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, days when it's like, we're not really feeling it. It's sort of so hard for me in my own mind to like swing out of like let's say we just go home and we just give up on filming. But in my own mind, I'm thinking, obviously there's a burnout aspect of things, but I'm thinking, oh bro, but then how bad do I really want this? Like I should be out here no matter what. Like it's always that mad conflict in like, okay, cool, it might not, like it will translate on video that I'm not really feeling, I don't really want to be here, whatever. It might not be the greatest video. But at the same time, if I want this, why am I not out here? Why am I not full? Like I should be out. Why am I going home? Like, like I don't deserve to go home right now.
I ain't got 100k followers or half a million.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? If I really want this, why am I going yard? So it's like, you got to realize that obviously that mentality is good to have in certain aspects, but you got to realize when it's actually time to, you know what? Let me just slow down a little bit, you know what I'm trying to say? Because it'll be better in the long run.
It's just being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's not a one size fits all. Like, every day is different. Like, for instance, like, and we're also very good, because we've been friends for so long, like, we're very good at just telling each other to, like, shut up and get on with it as well. Like, so there'll
You
be,
lot
like...
can be real with each other.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think as well, like, there's days where we're being lazy. Not lazy, but just, like, can't be asked.
Lazy,
Like, we're there and we're just like, oh, like, I see him, like, shall we go and ask him? Oh, wait, no, he's too far. And he's like, meanwhile, it's like this distance. And then we obviously pattern up. But then there's days where literally, like, it's like a ghost town. And then we're like, okay, well, we could just stand here. But realistically, we've got other things to be doing. So and that's the days that then we might, like, stay for, like, you know, another hour, Just see what happens. If it does change, then we stay. If not, then we go home early. And those sometimes are like my favorite days, yeah, because we literally go back to mine, yeah, we get a Pepe's, yeah.
Pepe's.
And we get chicken and rice, and we just sit there, and we're like, all right, cool, we've got like emails and stuff to do, or like, you know, like recording my conservatory. And that's like, all right, cool. So we've still been productive, but from the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like,
bliss, like,
because obviously then we're not like, because I do hate it as well. Like, if I've said to myself, like, all right, Saturday's here now, I'm going to get X amount of content, and I don't achieve it. I'm not on the train back, and I'm like, oh man, like, I'm just like, yeah, like,
but I feel like that
sadness
sadness is good though, because I feel like, in my opinion, that sadness shows I still have passion for this, and I want this. You know what I'm trying to say? So I wouldn't like. I'm glad I'm sad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, fact.
Like, I'm glad I'm passionate enough about something for me to be pissed off if I don't reach my goals.
Yeah,
it shows I actually care.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, man. And I'm so happy that you guys said everything you said, because I feel like a lot of people are going to look at your content different now. The people that follow you guys are going to be like, wow, like I rate them even more than I already rated them. Because I feel like with what you guys do, sometimes people not care too much about the people you're talking to, but it's like, because you're in every video, sometimes you can almost get forgotten to a certain degree.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Do you know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
that's why we started, like, we had this thought, like, maybe like 6 months ago or something, to show our personalities more. That's what we started. Started to do that spotlight, or like whatever wish list or anything around that, just to get because at the same time, we want to be the brand, right? Like, there's only so much we can ask from other people. It's important to get ourselves out there. If we establish ourselves as brands, as well as showcasing other people's opinions, then that's the perfect combination, right? Because then brands would want to, us to specifically would appeal to brands, rather than the concept of street interviews.
Yes.
Would appeal to brands. Because brands can just take anyone to just say, okay, go do street interviews.
They can literally take your exact questions and just get
they can run with it. But if we're the brand, then they'll be like, oh, let's get Rajan and Kev to do this. Yeah, because they are.
No
the
one
brand.
can do it like you two.
Yeah, that's all that.
And I think that's why it's so important to leverage your personalities, because that's what's always going to make you unique.
Yeah.
And there's so much value in that. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially now where, not to say TikTok's a fad, because obviously it's not, but a lot of people make content. So you have to find ways to stand out. And over time, certain things are going to allow people to stand out, and it's their personality. So if we look at the People Gallery, for example, my man's not doing anything groundbreaking. It's just his ad-libs, bro.
Yeah.
It's literally just his ad-libs.
And that's why you want to watch it.
That's why I want to watch it. But you know, I don't care what the people are wearing. I'm just waiting for him to say, damn. It's be like, G8, Virginia's definitely in the building. Bro, that's all I'm trying to hear, bro.
And it's so funny, like, I feel like no matter who it is, he's so just him.
He's him.
Like, you know the Janet Ortega one? I've seen that video all my days. He I forgot what he said, but she was looking at him like, what's going on?
What, was he trying to get onto it?
No, he was just his energy or whatever. He was just like, she was just so like, yo, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah,
but that's just him, and I love that he's so
it.
authentically him, and he doesn't change himself for whoever he's interviewing. Like, it's sick.
But that's it, and I think as well, like, it's important to like try and just come out as well and be the brand, because like street interviews might not be the thing that, you know, does it for us in the next, like, you know, say like year. So then, like, we still, that doesn't mean then our like,
it's not a be all end all.
For fashion has, I hate saying that, has like dwindled, right? So we need to then, you know, what else can we do? What other, and like opportunity only comes to you when people know who you are.
Facts.
As well, like there's putting your face on the map, but then like putting yourself on the map is a completely different thing. Like, people always see like a certain face and be like, think nothing of it. But then if they've like got a reason to remember you, then they will. Which is why I think it's like imperative, man. You need to put in like some sort of personality. You know?
Yeah, that's a major key, you know. I can't wait to clip that. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So speaking of you two, as I said to you guys off camera, I spoke to Kev before, like, you two have picked up a wealth of knowledge, like, and I think what's beautiful about that is that even if you don't necessarily get your personalities out there, one thing you lot have that brands and whoever wants to needs to leverage is knowledge now. Because you're literally speaking to the people that they want to target. You're literally speaking to the people that are considered fashionable. And you're learning from them every single day from having a 2-minute conversation. So you, man, know a lot of stuff. So going back to kind of like what you've kind of learned whilst being out there and whatnot, this question may be hard to answer because you've been doing it for a couple of years. But when I've watched your videos, I've noticed that there are certain brands that seem to get mentioned more than other ones. Like, I feel like Balenciaga gets mentioned in your videos so much.
Yeah.
Rick Owens,
Yeah.
obviously Supreme.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the Supreme answer is often a cop out though. Because someone will be
Yeah.
like, you'll be like, oh, so what brand do you feel right now? So I'll be like, oh yeah, I like Supreme.
Yeah.
It's
that's
like-
it.
Just because they're around the corner, literally just walk past it. So like,
Exactly.
Bro,
Yeah, that's Supreme.
Genuinely, for some of the questions, man, I've had to like start saying you can't say this. Like
Yeah.
you can't say skinny jeans,
Yeah.
Tyler the Creator, or ASAP Rocky to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
It's too much. But yeah, so like, what sort of brands tend to get mentioned most? And why do you think those brands get mentioned most?
I think a brand like obviously AOD gets mentioned quite a bit.
Yes.
Probably because we're outsiders, they could just see it in
Yeah,
the
they just
island.
have
Oh
it,
yeah,
yeah.
AOD. But also because, bro, like what they're doing is sick. Like everyone sort of gravitates towards that store whenever they're in Soho as well. And sort of the lifestyle they've built around their brand, the sort of aesthetic is like unmatchable in my opinion. Like when you buy an AOD piece, you feel like a part of this AOD community.
Wow.
And it just feels mad. But also brands like Seventh stores gets mentioned a lot, and what they're doing is absolutely like
Sensational. Innit?
sensational. Like there's streetwear, then there's that stupidly elevated streetwear, which is what they've tapped into. Like it's such a unique spin on streetwear where, bro, I could wear that to like fuck knows what. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter.
Everything, yeah.
Their marketing behind everything as well, and like I said, like their lifestyle they've created around that brand. Like if I see someone in Seventh, I automatically think like, yo, they're up, they know fashion. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they know their stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing.
I think it's mainly like your independent brands, like, and it is very much like your elevated streetwear brands that get mentioned a lot. Like the kind of like specific names are like escaping me, but yeah, it's definitely like the likes of your Seventh, like where people are comfortable but they still feel like they're wearing like a high fashion piece maybe, and maybe not paying, you know, like a Louis V price tag, but for something that's amazing quality. I don't know, man. I think Sweats
Sweats,
is a big one. That's like
What's
something.
Sweats?
Sweats Collective.
Yeah.
Even like Arif though.
Yeah,
Arif
Arif.
gets
Yeah.
mentioned so much in our videos. I love that.
That
guy.
Love is Kiss
Exactly,
sweater,
yeah,
bro.
man.
Yeah, but the uniqueness around pieces, I think it either goes in two directions, right? It's either how unique your piece is or how high quality your pieces are. I feel like back in the day, this used to be like graphics or whatever, like how loud graphics or all of that stuff. But now it's either quality or like standout pieces.
Yeah,
that are really like the ones to shine in our videos.
literally,
Whatever.
bro.
And I feel like when it comes to like more specific kind of questions, for example, if you talk about the collab question, a lot of the time it's always a high fashion brand, for example, with like a lower, just to make it more accessible. People always say Uniqlo is the like low one that people usually always mention, and then they always mention like a higher end brand, because obviously you've seen them do it in the past, right? Uniqlo have collabed with like Marni, they've collabed with like JW Anderson, like a whole bunch of other people, and like the quality is still there, but the price is like way less. So I feel like that kind of stuff as well. Uniqlo pops up a lot, and it's great for essentials as well. Like.
No, exactly.
So when let's say brand owners, for example, are watching your content, what are the sort of things you feel like they should be kind of listening out for?
I think it's to do with, first of all, like when we ask like what are some like trends you're feeling right now or whatever, because obviously you can always pick up on that, always like create your own spin on. Let's say someone says like, I don't know, like freaking work jackets, then you can put your spin on a work jacket or whatever, because it'll do well.
Yeah.
But also things like when they talk about what their favorite brand is, that's very important, because they'll be like, oh, because I love the way it fits, their crop is perfect, or they got like they got nice little details here and there, or they have jackets and all their jackets have double zips. Double zips are so important. You can pick up on that as a brand owner. You'll be like, all right, cool, maybe I should, if I have hoodies and they got single zip, oh, maybe I should implement double zip. It might like do better or something like that. Or even just like proportions. Like I feel like nowadays everyone's on proportions. You know what I'm trying to say? So if a brand's doing proportions right, then they'll say that's their favorite brand, and then other brand owners can look at that and be like, how are proportions? Are they right? Are they like boxy enough? Are they like too like long, or how baggy are our trousers? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just like, it's reviews, isn't it? Like it's like you're, as a brand owner, you're watching basically, you know, you could identify, say, I don't know, your kind of customer. What, like, I don't know, say like there's a 15-year-old that we've interviewed, and the brand owner's like, yeah, I want to, you know, cater to like our teenagers. You look out for what they're kind of saying, what they're like, what their success factors are in a good piece. and then hopefully you can create something towards that. Instead of, it's just insights. I feel like that you wouldn't necessarily, like, say if you have a smallish brand, you don't really have that many people buying like your stuff. You don't know why. You go on to like a page like ours and you just get insights of what does well, what doesn't. And then you can kind of, you know, like hedge your bets on kind of like popular answers.
Even like with the what you wearing kind of videos, you can see what trends are. Like, we're basically just, our page, it's just like a survey page, isn't it?
Literally.
Where we've already gone out there, we've asked a bunch of people like
facts.
generic fashion questions or whatever, and you can just scroll through that and be like, oh, what's trending here? What are people feeling right now currently? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like I think especially like, say if it's a brand owner that's where their brand is like being spoken about, they can see what people do and don't like very kind of, and it's very like specific to the item. Things like what you're wearing, you like as a brand owner, you know what kind of look you're trying to achieve. You can see what sort of like silhouettes people are messing with, what kind of items people have, and then you can kind of do your research and go back and then try and recreate that piece in your spin. Or do you know what I mean? Like, so you find like different things, like it's just inspiration both ways, like in what to create, and then also for the dresser, like how to dress.
Yeah. And even not just the
what
videos
brands
as
you
well.
like.
I feel like even like in the comments,
Yeah, man, the comments,
like,
yeah.
just scroll through the comments and you can see a whole bunch of what other people are saying as well. Because like, we only have like, for what you're wearing, there's only one person in the video, and for like interview questions, only 3 people in the video. But then there's a whole bunch of people who are viewing the video, commenting down below, saying what they think as well. And then that's a whole bunch of other like insight that you can get on what's working, what's not working. Or like sometimes, let's say if I'm someone says something like, oh, I'm wearing Balenciaga or whatever, then they'll be like, oh, does anyone know of any alternatives to that? And if people are like, oh, people are really trying to search for alternatives to this.
People really
or
have
maybe,
combos. That's almost like Reddit.
Yeah,
bro,
sometimes it's like that. Like sometimes it's quite
Yeah.
good. Like not all the time, but I've seen it like a few times where people are like, oh, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then seeing that, you'll be like, oh, people are trying to look for cheap alternatives. I think I can make this for the same amount of quality, so, like put my own little spin on it. And if people are looking for alternatives like that, then that's my thing there. And then they can just on their own personal page, they could be like, oh yeah, have you seen this brand, by the way, they're doing something like that?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like comments could, like brand owners could be in our comments saying, oh, this brand. Like if we say, what's your favorite fashion brand or trend right now? And then brand owners can just write their own app, obviously with their own personal thing. And people are like, oh, what's this brand? Like, because people obviously would, when I'm on TikTok a lot anyway, I like love just flicking through the comments and seeing what people are saying before I skip on. So people would just be clicking on your page and hopefully anyway, and they'll be saying, oh shit, this is what these lot are doing, kind of thing. You know what I'm trying to say?
When you first started Fred Culture Blog, did you realize it would end up being this trove of valuable information?
Nah,
Hell
we were
no.
just vibing. I told you, like, before we started this pod, I said we just like, it happened by accident.
Yeah.
Like, as in, we just like a couple videos just blew up, and then all of a sudden we just have a following, and we're like, yo, we're just going with the vibe, and we're just enjoying, like, really enjoying talking to people.
Yeah.
I feel like growing up, it was like social anxiety was a big thing. It was really a struggle for me to talk to people and like interact and make new friends and stuff like that as well. But through doing the street interview thing, it's just been so much fun to just be able to, like, knowing I have a new skill now to just to speak to someone.
It's empowering, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And it's just so enjoyable. And all the people we've met have always been so like amazing and so calm, and like we always come back to them and like have conversations with them. And it's sick, man. So I think we're just still enjoying it.
Yeah, man. For me, I think I didn't even like. It's only recently when you realize how much like we bring to, like, I don't know,
The fashion space.
Yeah, or just our followers, like the value that we actually have. Because before it was like, I used to kind of think like, is like why are we getting like, you know, followers, like why are we blowing up? Because we used to get, like, at one point I remember we released a video and it was like 1,000 followers a day. Like we'd refresh it and we'd be like, oh, like look, like you could literally see it going up in like real time.
What video was it?
It was this guy, he runs a brand called Prayer Studios.
Yeah, Daniel, shout out Daniel.
Yeah.
So it was a jacket, it was like a long jacket trench coat, and you unzip it and then you turn you turn the rest of the thing into a bag.
Oh,
And that went absolutely insane. So I think it's like 4 or 5 mil.
It's
on
like 6
Instagram.
mil, man. 6 mil.
And why do you think that went so viral?
It's just the uniqueness of the piece, man. To be fair, like, it's such a unique piece. Like, I don't know if like it was just last year or something. When I just clocked, like, there's one guy I follow. I forgot what is it, like something practice or something like that. He basically shows a bunch of like archive pieces from like Issy or like
Common practice, isn't it?
Common practice. I can't remember. I can't remember too stuff. I'll let you know afterwards. I'll check on my phone. but like a bunch of archive AC pieces, Prada pieces, whatever. The creativity they had back in the day, I feel like when I was looking at it, I was like in awe of like, yo, this was like from like 1960, 1970. Now I'm all good. From like 1960, 1970. And bro, them man are innovating. And I feel like we sort of lost that for a bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're sort of coming back to that. But like that kind of, it's
I
just
said,
exciting.
what did we lose?
That creativity in my
Within
opinion.
fashion.
Yeah. Like that sort of like just dare to do something different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like do something that no one's ever seen.
What do you think's made that come back?
Love of the early 2000s, man. In my opinion.
Also, it's oversaturation.
Yeah.
Because the fashion scene is so oversaturated now. You need to either do something completely different with your marketing or do something completely different with what pieces you actually create.
Yeah. I think, yeah, like, I think a lot of people, like, especially like speaking to people as well, like, have realized that, like, fashion is like cyclical anyway, right? So we're in that kind of stage where we're looking at like the 90s, early 2000s as like, you know, a golden era in fashion. But then also I think people are realizing that just in terms of like the good days, like even like pub culture's coming back. I remember it used to be massive. It kind of went away. Then it was all about being bougie. And then now that's all like kind of falling off because it's about like, we're just winding down and becoming more simple, I think, in the way that we kind of want to be. And then especially with like creativity, I think they're looking at like old, there's like a TikTok account that I follow. I can't remember the name, but it looks at like old marketing ploys, right? So
Send me that, please.
Yeah, I will. When I come across
I
I'll send
know
it
that
to you.
one.
Where she looks at like, so she's looking at like the one that's in my head, yeah, is like a Bratz phone. Like, so Bratz, like as a brand, like started selling phone, like these like household phones. And they're like, it's mad. Like, why would you even have that? But then I feel like that was such an early 2000s thing. Like even the toys that we used to have were like so elite. And then now you see the kids' toys now, like
Oh, they got
insane.
iPads.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
had
like,
wrestlers.
yeah, but you know what I mean? And then the
WWE
adverts were
figurines
nuts. And I
and
feel
that.
like that whole style is coming back because we're like, and this might be genius here, it might just sound so dumb. But I feel like because obviously the people now that are in those seats who are doing all of the marketing and stuff grew up in that time. So when they're looking at like a sick campaign, they're thinking of like what was impactful to them. And it's like bang. Whereas I guess like maybe people didn't have that before, or like they had it, then they lost it, and now we have it again. So I think, yeah, that's kind of like, because I know like, especially when we dress, like we look at all that stuff. Like we look at like what inspired us in the past. Like what, like me personally, I think how couldn't I dress back then? Like when
With the
all of that
confidence
sort of stuff.
aspect.
Yeah. And then now I can. I'm going to wear that. Like what I've always wanted to wear. That's like, you know, like a trophy fit for me. So that's that kind of thing, that kind of attitude, I think, because like a lot of people are getting in their bag a bit more about how they want to be and just doing what they want to do. Like, yeah, daring to be different.
I proper like the way you man think, you know. You man are consultants, man. That's why I made sure. That's why I made sure with the questions I asked, I really wanted to make sure that you guys come across as knowledgeable because you're so knowledgeable, but because you're always asking people questions, you don't get the opportunity to show people this. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why sometimes I've seen a couple of your videos where people ask you the question back and it's even funny because it's like, whoa, like, what are you doing? Like, you're not meant to be.
I'm like, I only asked the question. What's going on?
It's like, I'm thinking, what's going on? But again, going back to what we were saying before, I think it's so important that you guys leverage what you have, bro, because what you guys are building is sensational, bro. Like, and I'm proper excited for you lot. So as you can probably tell, I'm rounding off the conversation, but only a couple more questions left. The first one is, what can we expect from Fred Culture Blog going forward? Because obviously I know you've introduced new sort of series on like TikTok and that with blue. Is blue posted meant to be a play on the word block posted, yeah? But the chairs are blue, so
no, blue posted. Basically, there's a pub in Soho called the Blue Posts, and it's known for like being like a fashionable pub. Like all of the people outside, like whenever you walk past it, you're always gonna see fashionable people, like Soho people outside there.
Okay.
So then we took the thing Blue Post and also like back in the day, like the lingo was like, I'm just posted.
I'm
just posted.
So it's a double entendre.
Yes, it was like blue posted.
Yeah,
it was made sense because on the same strip as well, like that's where Blue Post is right there.
Literally.
Like, after filming, we'd go Blue Post. There'd be a bunch of like fashion people there as well. So it just made sense.
Like, it's just a spot like where people go to drink.
Yeah. I feel like it's really like only like recently it's really picked up. Like I think Uniform Display really put that place on the map when I talk about Blue Post. And I remember like I was outside Blue Post having a thing, and then these three people walking past like, oh my god, this is that Blue Post pub.
Yeah.
With all this fashion. And I was like, when I hit overhead, I was like, oh shit, like this place is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
actually
yeah.
like, kind of, like,
People.
kind of turned into a fashion landmark a little
Yeah,
bit, man.
man.
And like just recently they did they had a Levi's party in that pub, and they back in the day when Palace had their Stella Artois collab, they hosted it in there as well. So it's like synonymous with fashion and also that sort of pub culture and stuff.
It's just
like
like the
that as
location of it is perfect. Like it's on like the junction of like Berwick and Broadwick, where you've just got all of your like low key Soho stores. Like,
so that's where the fashionable people go.
do you know what I mean? And I say low key, I don't mean that. I mean like independent stores. Like they're all
well.
quite.
Not your high street retailers.
Yeah, they're all quite bait, but yeah. So, yeah, man, that's that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like what's new, man, I think just different questions, working with different people, brands,
new series
to come out.
them going
Yeah,
on.
so
Big
there's a
one
lot in the
is-
pipeline, man.
Yeah, I feel like big one is transition to YouTube.
Yes, I was gonna
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about that. You know,
A big thing, like obviously Blue Post is like it's like a 5-minute video. Like not a lot of people are gonna sit through, especially on TikTok. Like everyone's just trying to swipe, and yeah, on Instagram as well. We put it up on there, but I think a big thing is us to transition onto YouTube. Try to, I guess, like that new audience, right? That YouTube audience as
Just
well,
tap in.
and it gives us more creativity. We have more time to play
Facts.
with in terms of how big we can make our videos, and in terms of production as well.
Facts,
So I think trying to transition into YouTube, trying to just continue with our TikTok, trying to build that.
and you know, I think YouTube gives you as well credibility.
Yeah, bro.
Because I
That's
feel
so
like
true.
even subconsciously, when you see something on YouTube, it's like you tell yourself they put effort into this.
Yeah.
And obviously, you guys have shown how much effort you've put into your TikToks. But TikTok as an app, people see it as a low effort.
Of course,
Do you get what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So
I can just
even
put my
when-
phone down and I can
Yeah.
film it down and post it
YouTube,
straight away.
you
Like,
can't
even
do
when
that.
we ask people like to get in an interview, we never say I was going on TikTok. We always just say, oh, we've got an Instagram blog.
yeah.
Because like we found like whenever we say I was going on TikTok, they're like, nah.
That's so
Whereas if we say
Which
it's
is
going on
so weird,
Instagram,
bro.
it's like a cleaner
yeah.
like image. I don't know, like for what?
It's
But
weird. I remember when we first noticed that, we're like, this is weird. Like,
Yeah.
we tested it out as well.
literally.
And we're like, it was kind of weird. Like when we say, oh yeah, it's going on TikTok, they're like, when we say, oh, it's an Instagram blog, they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
And also I feel like
So
saying that
interesting.
you've got like X amount of followers on IG is better than saying you've got X amount of followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
What
don't
do you
know.
think causes that though? Because I've definitely noticed that as well.
I think it's just the way that it's been marketed. Like TikTok is marketed like well, it's getting its flowers now, but was always like a kids app. Do you know what I mean? Like it started off on dances and weird little like lockdown trends. Do you know what I mean? And then like they're not really that weird, but we just like I don't know. I was mad anti
Same.
like, TikTok. I'm not gonna lie. And then I feel like Instagram, because you see people's lifestyle a bit better, and I guess that's being captured now on TikTok rather than them just dancing in their kitchen. It's like you used to see people, I don't know, out in Dubai,
Yeah.
their watches, their lifestyle. So then if they're like an influencer on Instagram, that's their platform. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then even like YouTube, I guess it's like imagine if YouTubers were all just kind of, I don't know, creating content in their bedroom rather than like you've got, I don't know, say Chunks, Philly, like your sidemen. If you didn't have them, then would YouTube be that appealing for us? Like I don't know, like that's the kind of thing. I think it's the people that create on it and that have been like that blew up on it, and then now like Instagrammers are blowing up on TikTok and vice versa. It's all becoming synonymous. Like
I think it's also a big thing of like the algorithm. The TikTok algorithm is amazing.
yeah,
And like you could gain following overnight.
yeah, man.
But I feel like with Instagram it's a lot harder. The algorithms.
And with YouTube, it's a lot harder.
yeah.
It's like trying to crack it, you know?
Yeah, so I feel like having a following on Instagram is seen as a lot more like harder to do than it is
On TikTok.
to get a bigger following on TikTok. So maybe that's why people sometimes think that Instagram is more of like, oh wow, Instagram.
Yeah.
TikTok is TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So ultimately, it just comes down to perception. And I think going back to the point you made, Kev, I suppose because Instagram's been around for a lot longer, people perceive it as a more serious platform. It's got more heritage.
Yeah.
And within fashion, we know that's an important thing as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, guys, honestly, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank
Yeah,
you
man.
so much.
Thank you, man.
My one last question, and we ask it to every guest, is if you could give advice to anybody that wants to get into fashion, maybe wants to do what you guys do, what would it be?
I'd say don't be scared, just do it. Don't worry about what other people are going to think, because I feel like that's a big thing that stopped us in the beginning and it really like slowed us down in terms of how much we could, like what we could have already done
Yeah,
to this point.
Facts.
So don't be scared. I like dare to be different, man.
Dare to
It's
be
always a
different.
good thing.
That's the theme of the podcast.
Set yourself apart, man. Set yourself apart. And if you do want to do content, just be consistent, man. Like have that drive, have that eagerness, have that hunger to really want it, and then you'll be good, man. You'll get it.
I'd probably echo that, man. I'll just say, don't be afraid to have those conversations as well. Hit people up. It's fine. Like they're either gonna ignore you or change your life. Like, do you know what I mean? And then they're like, if they ignore you, then you didn't send a message, it's the same outcome. So yeah, man. Just you're not a beg. Just try to talk to people.
Have that mindset like you belong in it. I feel like a lot of people, when you don't want to have that like imposter syndrome, then it really slows them down. Just think, I am a content. I don't care what I am a content creator. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? I know my fashion. People might know it more than you know, but I know my fashion. If you go inside with that, then you have that confidence just to be like, yeah, cool, I got this. If I want to do street interview content, I can go up to anyone. Yeah, it's cool.
It's also like, you don't even need to know like brands as well. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't need to know what brand names are or whatever to like know fashion or like your fashion. Like there's style. Oh, well, I guess there's style and then there's fashion. So you can still have sick style and know nothing about fashion. And if that's the case, then just start, cater to what you're good at, play to your strengths, and then learn on the job, man. Don't like, because I used to think, I need to understand everything before I do it. And then it just slowed me down. Like, that's another reason I didn't do TikTok for ages. Even though I was posting on Reels. Yeah. Like, it's the same video.
You could have just literally uploaded.
No, but that's it. No, but genuinely, he used to get so mad at me. Just be like, have you uploaded on TikTok today? Now he doesn't even ask me, but I'm a bit more consistent. But like, I remember like at the start, he was like, okay, fine, well, I've done mine. And I was like, okay, cool.
Well, like that peer pressure.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. Like, just scratching my head and it's like 9 o'clock and I'm thinking, it's too late now anyway. Yeah. But yeah, man.
Just start, innit?
Yeah, just get on it.
Just start. Like, I feel like a lot of people in the beginning, they're overthinking. They're like, oh, no, but I want it to be like this. Oh, no, but I want it to be like this. And then you just like spend the whole time just thinking, oh, I want it to be like this, but you're doing nothing to make it like that in the first place. You just get started then anyway, and then you can build it up to be like that.
But you definitely don't need to have it figured out, because as we were kind of touching on this earlier, about our goals and what's going to come of the page. But it's like just knowing that you can like pivot. Like it's all about like having,
you live and you learn kind of thing.
Yeah, it's all about having followers that really mess with you. Like, say even if you've got, I don't know, like 70k followers, but then only 5k, like have really bought into you. No matter what you do, you know that you've got 5,000 people
which is
tuned
nuts.
into you. Yeah, which is like tuned into you. So even if like we decided, all right, fine, we don't want to be doing this type of content, we want to jump into this, or I don't know, we want to go into like a PR kind of thing, or we want to do this, then at least we know that we've got 5,000 people that are like actually
invested.
Yeah, invested and they care. So that's probably what I'd say, man. Just you don't need to have it figured out. Don't need to know your goal. Just start. If you want to start and see where it takes you.
Mandem, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Perfect. Mandem.
Let's go.
That's all right, baby.
That was a sick episode. Honestly,
that,
like I learned so much. I'm not gonna lie. And the point you guys are making about at the end about not necessarily having to know particular brands and that. Yeah. I'm so happy you lot mentioned that, because I feel like fashion can almost come across as very exclusive because of that. Yeah. Because people come and, oh, did you see this person's Rick Owens full winter show in 2001? You get it? So then when you don't know the answer to that, you're like, no. People make you feel as though, oh, so what are you kind of doing here?
Yeah.
Or it's not. And to be fair, it's like, I haven't even experienced that. So we have this perception of what the fashion industry is like, but unless you actually try and get into it from where you are, then you'll never know. Do you know what I'm saying?
And it's like, even some people are like so apprehensive to even answer our questions, but then like I have to say, like, they're entry level questions. Like, you don't need to know anything. Also, my knowledge in fashion is whack, bro. Genuinely, I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's released. I don't particularly
because it's
care.
so, bro, there's so much going on. It's like,
and it's like, also, I ain't got the bread to spend on it, so I'm not going to try to distract myself, because I will spend on it.
Slippery slope, innit?
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? So then I'd like, for my thing, the thing I care about is like just feeling good, like, you know, just like expressing myself through my clothing, not the other way around.
Whether it's weekday or Balenciaga, at the end of the day, man.
Still
looks cool,
good,
you get me.
Yeah,
but Mandem, again, thanks so much.
Bro, you killed it, by the way.
Yeah, that was sick. You, bro. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. You know, Rash and I have been doing this for a while now, so
that was really enjoyable. Like,
cheers, thank you.
Things I've never even ever said before. Like,
remember, I was saying to you, I want you guys to learn about what
Ourselves,
you,
like,
yeah,
that's
and
what it actually felt like.
I
It
hope
was mad.
good. I'm happy. That's
Nah, I
what I
appreciate
want
that,
from
man.
these
Thanks for having
conversations.
me.
I'm gonna start
You're
telling
welcome, man.
brands the price has gone up now.
Bro, of course, what after this?
Price has gone up.
Broski,
man.
you man gave them 1% of what you know, bro. Like you man got the leverage. I'm telling you. Forget even the numbers you have, because that's one thing. But the answers you're getting and the conversations you're having, it's like anyone with a brain that works at a certain brand that needs the sort of information you have can watch one of those videos and be like, I need to speak to these two.
Yeah.
If they're not, then it's like, what are you doing? Are you even in the right job? Do you
Yeah,
get what I'm
yeah.
saying? So keep doing what you're doing, man. But where can they find you guys as individuals? I don't know how we're gonna do this because
Don't you bring this back?
so like, I'm trying to think. So okay, Rajan, say where they can find you into that camera. So you go first.
Well, IG is Rajan_333. TikTok is Rajan333_. I don't even know my username. And if you want to find me, man, come to Harrow, man.
Sound like a threat, innit? Am I looking at the same camera?
Yeah, good.
That one, yeah. That one. All right, cool. Instagram is shit.
Get up.
Oh, yo,
bro,
get
I don't
out.
even know this.
I don't even
I remember
know.
I was trying to send him a
I
meme
think
the other
it's-
day and I couldn't even
Couldn't find it.
couldn't
I
find it.
think
bro.
it's Kevo_M18. I think that might be it. Let's just hope
Yeah,
it is.
Kev.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
we'll put it in the thingies.
Yeah,
anyway.
and
Just
then
give it
my
a-
TikTok is Kev_DM. And then obviously you can find me Fred Culture or you can find me Wembley.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
No, but you'll definitely find us both in Soho though.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah.
Hey, the man
I don't even know why I said that.
That's why, man. Put them in it.
Bro. Shit, that's a sticky one.
But guys, you know where to find us. WMTV_LDN, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And ooh, I nearly forgot. So cool. Yeah, obviously, as you guys know, when we get gifted stuff, I try to wear it on the platform because I'm super grateful and I want people to see it. This is from my guy Francis Gallinacci. You would have seen him on the podcast before. Incredibly talented designer. You guys need to tap in. I'll send you his stuff. He's doing great stuff. The brand has a lot of meaning. Bro, the guy, he really documents his process as well. So if you're brand owner yourself and you want to learn how to do that, then I definitely think you should tap into his stuff. But Francis, my brother, thank you so much. And yeah, you know to find us, WMTV_LD on and everything. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. As I always say, keep it locked. Thank you for watching another episode of Where's My Podcast. If you ever want to take in future episodes on the go, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Whilst you're there, please leave us a 5-star review. It would really help. And also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, WMTV_LDN, to keep up to date with the latest goings on in UK fashion. Keep it locked.